Hi, everyone. Do you know what day it is? It is the winter solstice. That means it's the first day of winter, and it is time for the seasonal Yarny YouTube Hop sponsored by Kim over at the Crafty Nomad. Would you like to see what I decided to make to usher in the winter season? If so, stay tuned and we'll chat. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Crafts and More. I'm Katrina. If this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. Take a look at this video or any of my other videos. If you find yourself inspired, join my channel. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you just hanging out with me for a bit. So, hi everyone. Today is the first day of winter, and it is time for the seasonal Yarny YouTube Hop, hosted by Kim over at the Crafty Nomad. This is a wonderful collaboration that Kim has come up with. It is a way to usher in each and every season and just share our inspired makes for the season. I think it's wonderful, and I do look forward to participating in the upcoming year. And I hope that you guys have had a wonderful time checking out all the wonderful channels and those who have been collaborating along with Kim. This is just wonderful, and I want to say thank you so much, Kim, for the opportunity. So, I've been making quite a few things, not necessarily things for myself, things for others. And for this, I had a little bit of a creative block, just not figuring out what I wanted to make, maybe for myself to usher in the season. But you know what? It's wonderful to have awesome Yarny friends. And I have a few who are just awesome, and even more who are just totally near and dear to my heart and just always there for me. And I so appreciate it. And my Yarny Bestie Pricilla over at Distinctively Handcrafted made a recommendation that I had shared something with her, and that was a technique a while back. It was a knitting technique, and we took a look at it and thought, wow, that is just awesome. We should try to make something using that. But we put it off and started working on other projects. And when asked, about the Yarny YouTube Hop, Priscilla said, you know what? We should use the technique that you shared. And I thought, okay, that sounds great. So that's what we decided to do. All right. So I'll share the technique with you a little bit later and show you exactly what I decided to do. I did a little bit of practice and then actually did my piece. But before I get into that, I just want to share a few other items that I decided to make that also are ushering in this time of year, and that is like the colder weather. So I've been doing some hats for the homeless and for the less fortunate. And I purchased some things, and then I've made some things, and I've also done some things for other charities as well. But many of the ones that I had shown you guys were for the grown-ups. So two items that I'm going to share with you right now are for younger people. All right. So the first one is this one, and this kind of goes along with the Socks Not Socks challenge. So this is a beautiful hat for an infant, and I did not do any color control. I just allowed the yarn to do whatever it did. This is using sock yarn, okay? So this is for a baby, all right? And so there's no pattern. It's just a basic hat that I made, and it is using Patton's Croy sock yarn. Um, and it is blue raspberry. Okay, so this will fit an infant. Okay, very quick to make, easy to do. You are using smaller stitches, but it may take you about the same amount of time it would take you to make a larger one using a larger hook. Okay, all right, so nice beanie. All right, so now I also did one in worsted weight, and this one is more for like a toddler size, okay? So this also basic beanie. This is just something that I came up with, so no pattern at all. And I like using this technique at the bottom where you're using just a pop of color just to change the plainness of the beanie. All right. And I love the way this turned out. This is a pattern, actually something that I kind of put together many years ago. And I actually was looking through some of my old files on my computer. And I thought, wow, I haven't made that hat in a while. So I went ahead and just, kind of made this version. And this will probably fit a toddler. Okay. All right. And then last but not least, for hats, I also was asked to make a toddler sized um, stocking cap. And so I came up with this one. So this one is also using a 4-weight yarn. This one is using the mainstays yarn for the main body of the hat. And then for the brim, I used Pound of Love. Okay. So for this one, I elongated a little bit by alternating with my increase rounds and plain rounds to kind of get it longer. And then once I got it about as wide as I wanted it to be, then I just did straight rounds. Okay. And then I finished it up with a 1x1 front post, back post for the ribbing section here and did my own pom-pom. Now my pom-pom does need to have a little bit of a trim. I just didn't have my sharp scissors handy so that I could clip the little extras, but very quick to do and attached it very easily to the top of the hat. Okay. So yeah, so those are some hats that I made. Some other things that I made, two little really small, very quick projects. One was a tutorial, and the other one was just something I was playing around with. So I did a basic mini sock, and this was done with the beautiful Red Heart Sparkle yarn, very quick to make up, can be done with scrap yarn. This can be used for so many different things, not only for the winter season, but it also can be used for like baby showers, for just small gifts like that. And you can use this for embellishments. You can take and put small little favors inside it. You could just hang it up. Just lots of different ways that you can use something like this, especially if you change up the color. Okay. But beautiful. And then I did um, a rib, but I did it not using double crochet. I did it with single crochet to get that little bit of a rib there. And then this one was done with a tutorial, and the tutorial was from Gloria over at Gigi the Crochet Queen. She did this awesome tutorial on how to do this mini granny square styled um, stocking. And this one is really nice too. Now, I thought of some other applications for this. This can be an embellishment for a gift. It can hold maybe some chapstick or lip balm. It can hold a small, maybe thin lotion or something like that, a hand sanitizer bottle. But it also could hold a little bit of potpourri that you could use as like a little air freshener holder or something. So lots of different things that you can use for these things. Just think a little bit outside the box and the sky's the limit, guys. You will come up with a wonderful um, list of things that you can do with the things that you make. Okay. So there is a tutorial for this. I will put the link for the tutorial in the description box below. That is Gloria Gigi, the Crochet Queen. Beautiful granny square styled mini sock. Okay. All right. So now, what else have I done? I started on a shawl, and I will share that with you in another video. And that was a pattern that was gifted to me by my Yarny Bestie Pricilla. And I've started working on it, but it's not completed yet. But the next thing is what I actually wanted to do for my main project for the Seasonal Yarny YouTube Hop. And that is practicing a technique called the Latvian braid. So the Latvian braid is a beautiful color work braid technique that you can put to add just a pop of color and some 3 dimension to your projects. And we watched a video of a fellow YouTuber and designer, and they showed how to do this technique. And we both just fell in love with it. And this was just a perfect opportunity to be able to showcase it. So I did some practicing first. And that was after finding what yarn was going to be used for my piece. The yarn I chose is Hometown yarn, and it is a category 6 super bulky weight yarn. Okay, so that being said, it would work up the project fast, and we decided on a cowl so that we knew it would work up fast. Um, and I had a lot of this yarn available. So I had this Hometown yarn that I purchased on clearance a long time ago, and it's been sitting in my stash trying to figure out what to do with it. Periodically, I grab it and I'll make a project with it, but I still had quite a bit of it left because when I purchased it, I got it for $1 a skein. And some of it, and then the other I got for like $2.50 a skein. But in any case, it was a wonderful deal and I couldn't pass it up. And I went ahead and purchased. So I have a lot of this beautiful color, and this is called Houston cream. All right. This yarn is very, very soft. It comes as 5-ounce skeins. That's 142 grams, 81 yards, 74 meters. The recommended needle size is a US 13 or 9 millimeter, and the recommended hook size also um, a 9 millimeter US 13. Okay. So, in figuring out this is my main color that I wanted to use, I needed to find a contrast. And I decided the contrast that I was going to use this time was something actually that you guys had seen before because I used this to make a chunky shawl. And that was this beautiful yarn, also Hometown, but this is a print rather than a solid. And this one is called Key Largo Tweed. All right. Beautiful color, right? And it has that pop of little small bits of colors to make the tweed. Now, this one comes as 4-ounce skeins, and that is 113 grams, 64 yards, 59 meters. Now, the Houston cream is 100% acrylic, and this one is 94% acrylic and 6% rayon. Okay. All right. So together, I thought these will work beautiful together. But because this is a new technique, I had to do a sample swatch first because I needed to make sure that I understood what I was doing because I didn't know how froggable or whether I could tink back or what have you. So I decided to go ahead and practice. Now, first off, what was I going to use as a pattern? How was I going to make my cowl? How was I going to incorporate this beautiful technique? I had to think about that first. So I had a concept in my head of what I wanted to do. And then I grabbed my worsted weight yarn and regular needles to try to sort it out. So let me show you my sample piece so that you can see what I started out with and where I was thinking. Okay, so this is my sample piece, and this is where I was starting. And you can see this beautiful braid technique here. All right, so I just made a little small mini sample of what I wanted to do, starting with my ribbing and then incorporating the technique just to see how it would look. And I did have a little bit of a challenge with this using the double pointed needles, and that was where you end one needle and begin the other with this particular color work. I found myself having to adjust at every round of this technique in order to make sure that everything was laying properly and wasn't too loose. So I knew there that I might have a challenge if I decided to use double pointed needles, that I may have to pay attention to that. But otherwise, I was able to do it just fine and it worked out great. All right. So now that I had a little bit of practice with it, I thought, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and do this. So I wrote down my notes of how I wanted it to be and then just got to working on it. As I started working on it, I continued to measure to see how it was working up. And I still thought in my head it was going to be exactly the way I had the concept, but that's not what happened. What actually happened is I got to one point and decided, you know what? I think I'm going to stop it right here. And I did. So let me show you a photo of my finished piece. I am back. What do you guys think? I love it. I love the way it came out. I think it is beautiful. And again, if I hadn't told you, you wouldn't have known that I had a different design in mind. I still may use that design because I still think it's beautiful and I had it in my head. But because I was doing it with um, the 9mm needles and using the super bulky yarn, I do think the piece would have ended up being too tall and it would not have shown the beautiful braid that I wanted to show the way I did. So now I did get an opportunity to do the braid in two different directions. That was important to me for this piece. And let me share it with you right here. Okay. All right. So here we have it. All right. So if you can see here, the braid here at the bottom, the V's are going like this. The braid at the top, the V's are going like this. So they're going in two different directions, and that is on purpose. All right. So I really do love the way it turned out. I think it is just fantastic. I hope that you guys like it too. I did my ribbing at the bottom and then worked on my braid in one direction. I went ahead and did some texture here using a kind of twirl that continues all the way around, and then did my braid in a different direction. So can you tell that these braids are in two different directions? Yeah. And then finished it up here. So that was really, really important to me that I kind of do that. And so I'm glad I was able to incorporate it in the piece. All right. So I'm going to try this on. So hold on for a minute. I am back and I just love it. I think it turned out great. It's going to keep me warm and stylish at the same time. So thank you so much, Priscilla, for recommending that we work on this technique. It was great. It wasn't as hard as it seemed at first when we really got into it. I really did enjoy learning it. And it was a big learning curve, but it was a fast one. And so something that I could, pick up and do very quickly. So for all of you all, have you worked on any kind of three-dimensional techniques to add to your crafting? Whether you knit or whether you crochet, there are lots of different techniques that you can try out. And you know what? Just give it a try and see how it goes. You may be surprised and end up with a beautiful project, a new pattern, new design, or something like that. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I want to say thank you so much to Kim over at the Crafty Nomad for the awesome opportunity to participate in the seasonal Yarny YouTube Hop. I really do appreciate it. I really do enjoy it. And I look forward to participating in this again in upcoming seasons and upcoming years. So thank you so much. To Gigi for the awesome tutorial that I showed you guys for the beautiful mini stocking granny square style. Please go and check out her tutorial. She is awesome. For Priscilla, my Yarny bestie, please go and check her out. Also, she has wonderful ideas. She designs beautiful bags, and you have to stay tuned because I do have an unboxing that I need to do for some Happy Mail that came from Priscilla. So please stay tuned, and you will see that coming up in a day or so. And also, please check out all the wonderful content creators that are participating in the seasonal Yarny YouTube Hop. It is very inspiring to see what each of us have decided to do to usher in the season. And I think we're inspired. by their inspirations also. Okay. So that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for just hanging out with me for a bit. And I hope that each and every one of you do everything you can to be mindful, do everything you can to be at your best health, and by all means, continue to be crafty every day. Share your gifts, be inspiring, and be inspired. I look forward to seeing you again soon in one of my videos or one of yours. Take care now. Bye bye.